in the previous one, you mentioned about the parents hitting or openly being physical and disciplining in the classroom environment, or shouting at their kids, right? In a case like this, what process should you follow, especially if they continue to do these things?
Then I immediately report it as well. I always report. If there's ever been any kind of incident, I report to whoever my supervisor is, and I explain why I did what I did. So I will do that. Obviously, I'll put in the feedback, but I'll tell them first. And to say, this happened in the lesson, or this is happening in the lesson. Can you please contact the parents? Communication is key. It really is key to everything. And make sure you get your screenshots, you know, and just jot down any other things you think are important. I've been lucky. I've only seen a little bit of physical discipline. I use the word discipline very begrudgingly.
Yeah.
Oh, hello, sorry, this is Maya.
Hello, Maya.
She also comes to all the lessons. Maya, we're busy.
Oh, she's pretty.
Yeah. She's very yeah, so definitely reporting it always. And then just asking them to please communicate to the parents as well. Why, even though I've put in the feedback, because I've also seen that not all the parents read the feedback that you give. They often don't even go into it. So definitely report that as well, and explain why you've done it, what you would suggest mom or dad can do in the future or try out, and explain that it's trial and error. All kids are different. We're going to try a few things to help encourage your child to enjoy the classes, but you need to do this and not do that. But that answers the question.
Yeah, no, it's perfect. Yeah, very good. Thanks so much. Okay, and on a different note about parents, how can we encourage or guide them to be your co-teacher? Because it's so important, but not to completely take over at the same time, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I've had a few of those as well. I think in the lesson, sometimes it's necessary, especially for the younger kiddos, like the very small ones. I involve the parents sometimes. So if the kids are not doing actions that we need to do, you know, especially if we're doing actions lessons, I say to mom, can you jump? Can you jump? Look, mom can jump. And I get mom and dad to get in it as well. You know, do you like apples? Do you want this apple? You know, I bring them in because often the kids will do what they're modeling. You know, the kid might not want to do it, but if mom's there dancing, jumping, acting like a fool as well, then kid's happy to do that most of the time. So in that way, I get them involved.
Yeah.
In the feedback as well, I'm trying to think. In the specific class, it is a fine line. It is a fine line, but I've only had to ask one or two parents to back off a little bit. And again, I haven't said that to the parents. I've gone with the class the way it's happened, except if it was getting a bit out of hand in terms of, you know, someone getting upset or angry. And then I just report back to the company and say, can someone please just mention this to the parents and explain why it's important, and what we need to have done or what they need to change.
Yeah.
Outside of the classroom, again, the feedback is great. With some of the kids, I've got one kid specifically who didn't want to do a lot of the stuff in the lesson. This is the one where I said to the dad, listen, I think she's too young, but he insists that she carries on. So I said, okay, in that case, then what we need to do is set up a routine for her. So I will give points, like kids need predictability and consistency. That's what they need. They thrive on that. So I've, for example, made a suggestion to him that whether it be an hour before the lesson, half an hour before the lesson, that they spend time together. Whoever's going to be in the lesson with her, spend time together and perhaps get some props they can bring into the lesson. Give her control by letting her choose what she wants to bring into the lesson. That's relevant to the lesson. Even if there's some things that are irrelevant, bring it in. It's fine. It's giving her a sense of control. It's giving her something she can be more invested in. You know, she's got this. She drew this picture. She brought this teddy bear along, and now she's invested in showing it. So it already brings in interest because now this is something she's done.
Yeah.
And I've asked that they do this before the lessons. Sometimes I ask them just to make sure they feed their kids before the lesson, If I know that I think that's an issue, because it's so hard to teach when they're feeding their kids like mouthfuls, and if they've got to repeat. And if they can they go to the toilet before the lesson too? Yeah, so things like that. I also very much point out that it's important to not put pressure on the kids. They need to not put pressure on, and don't point out the kids' mistakes. I often tell parents, we're trying to build your kids' confidence and self-esteem. If we start pointing out errors now, they're not going to want to be involved in the lesson. So don't point out the errors. I will correct them when necessary. You just encourage, give positive feedback. That's all you do. Everything's positive. You tried so hard. Well done. Please continuously give them positive feedback at home as well.
Yeah, it keeps them wanting to try.
Yeah, and also tell them, listen, I know it's adorable when they mispronounce words in the lesson and you want to laugh when they get the sentence wrong, but it's not nice for the kid when a parent is laughing with good intention. But I tell them, just be careful about that. Think about how the kid feels, and in that way, we're bringing in the co-teacher, really.
Yeah, and you also kind of raise awareness here and there of developmental things. For instance, some children who are very intelligent and they can now already learn very complicated words, but they can't pronounce them yet because the mouth is formed in order to be able to pronounce that yet. And to explain that kind of thing to a parent as well, so that they know where their expectations need to end.
That's very true.
It is. I actually was speaking to somebody about that like yesterday, because I have this like 4, and he can say hard like long and big words, but he can't pronounce them. And I felt the same way, that I didn't know like physically that's why, but I was also like, I don't want to push this kid. He's doing so well. He knows what he wants to say, but I don't want to be like, no.
Yeah, I know, because they're never going to get it right, and then it's a bit like, oh.
He tries hard, and he's super excited because he knows the word,
Oh, they're just adorable. I love them.
They're so cute.
Want them to leave with.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, exactly. And encouraging them, it's great just to acknowledge that with kids. Like, you're doing it. Wow, it's such a big word, but you're saying it. Wow. It's great for them. It's wonderful. We all love to be encouraged.
No, definitely. It's so true. Thank you so much, guys. This is really valuable information. I'm so happy that you helped me today with this, and you were able to explain it so well and partner together to tell me about the psychological, the physical, the everything, all the things we need to think about. Before we go, is there any advice that you might have for people that are struggling or getting into the industry, or things that maybe you wish someone had told you before you started?